This store, back in the 1980s, used to be called Something Sweet. It was once owned by Gary James Tabella, who at the time was 34 years old, and he and his wife co-owned the store. However, as much as this may be a sweet South Philadelphia store, it has gained a lot of infamy for one huge deception that happened in the year of 1984. Here at this location, history was made. The Philadelphia crime family captain, or caporegime, Salvatore Salvie Testa, lost his life on September 14, 1984, at this establishment. Before we go in depth about this mob hit, let us provide you the backstory to why and how this mob hit took place. Salvatore Salvie Testa was known to be a loyal soldier in the Philadelphia crime family. He was the son of the Philadelphia crime boss Philip Chicken Man Testa. His father would rule the city of Philadelphia's criminal underworld for less than a year after his untimely demise resulted in an explosion underneath his porch of his own home. His successor, Nicodemo Little Nicky Scarfo, who was Salvatore's actual godfather, would take the reign of the ruling city of Philadelphia. Under Scarfo's orders, Salvatore Testa was allowed to whack all the members who were involved on the hit of his father, Philip Testa. These members were Frank Chicky Narducci and Rocco Marinucci. Narducci and Marinucci will be taken out in brutal street fashion in the city. The only ones who escaped this brutal fallout was Peter Casella and Theodore Ted DiPetro. Peter Casella was banned from the city of Philadelphia by the commission. The commission is the boss of the 5 families within New York. Casella was allowed to live the rest of his life after giving up Frank Chicky Narducci and Rocco Marinucci as the members who were part of the conspiracy taking out Philip Testa. As for Theodore Ted DiPetro, he turned himself in to the authorities after hearing about the brutal slayings of Narducci and Marinucci. Salvatore Testa avenged his father after taking out the conspirators who were not so lucky. Afterwards, Testa's boss Nicky Scarfo was at war with Harry the Hunchback Riccobene since Riccobene refused to pay a street tax for doing illegal activities. Riccobene and Scarfo were arrested during their feud and eventually led to jail. As the war was brewing, Salvatore Testa was the captain of Scarfo's team and he fought against Riccobene's faction of men. Salvatore Testa will also create his own crew within the Philadelphia crime family called the Young Executioners. This would consist of the Narducci brothers, Philip and Frank Narducci Jr., Joseph Joey Punch Pungatore, and the Grande brothers, Joseph Joey Grande and Salvatore Waiting Grande. Testa almost lost his arm after the shooting from Riccobene loyalists Joseph Padula and Victor DeLuca. Federal prosecutor Louis Pacini had made this statement about Salvatore Testa's participation in Nicky Scarfo and Harry Riccobene's war.
The person who really took control and the leadership with respect to that war on behalf of Scarfo was really Sal Testa.
Scarfo would win the war against Riccobene. However, Scarfo knew he could not have won the war without Salvatore Testa's help. Therefore, Scarfo grew fear that Testa would be a threat to him and would take over the Philadelphia crime family. Therefore, the seeds of treachery were planted into Scarfo's psyche. The seeds of treachery grew faster when Scarfo discovered that Testa would marry his underboss Chucky Merlino's daughter Maria. Therefore, Scarfo was really assured that Testa and Merlino would overthrow him from his throne. However, Testa grew cold feet and called off the wedding. Testa would have a falling out with the underboss Chucky Merlino, and Merlino would grow incensed of the total disrespect that he felt that Testa did towards the family and calling off the wedding after spending a lot of money on the investment. And to Nicky Scarfo's luck, he would use this to his advantage in Machiavellian fashion. According to mob hitman turned informant Nicholas Nick the Crow Caramondi, he said he received the order on Testa's hit, as you will hear from himself.
Nicky ordered his hit. They called me and Charlie out. and they said, Salvie's got to go. Made the sign of the gun.
Along with other crew members, tried to whack Salvatore Testa 17 times in many different ways. Therefore, Scarfo had to turn to another alternative. The best people to whack you are the ones that are more closer to you. So he would decide to go with Salvatore's best friend, Joseph Joey Punchatore, who was also part of Testa's group, the Young Executioners. Scarfo threatened Punchatore to say that if he did not go through with this method, that he would eliminate his whole family members, which were also mobsters as well. Punchatore, in fear, knew Scarfo was not joking, so he agreed to the method, but only if he was not the trigger man. Scarfo could have cared less. He would have said, "What's the effing difference?" from his point of view. Punchatore, along with other members, this included the Young Executioners, would set up Testa for his downfall. Testa soon got the message when he was kissed by his underboss Chucky Merlino with a kiss on the lips, a sign of kiss of death. Testa grew weary about his situation, knew that he was not safe. In this method, he would now start to pat others down once he interacted with other Philadelphia crime family members. As you can hear from Philip Leonetti and Nicholas LaCroix Caramani about how Testa grew weary and suspicious of any activity that was around him.
Fast after that.
Did Salvie know what's coming?
He had an idea. He had an idea he was going to get killed, yeah. Like, I would go to dinner with him. Like, we would all go to dinner, me, him, Joey, and Anthony and all. And he would say, "Phil, let me sit there so I could see if somebody's coming." I said, "Sal, if somebody's coming in, ain't I going to tell you?" Well, he was suspicious. He thought he was going to get killed.
Walks in, Wayne's got the gun hidden here, gives him the shake, pats him down.
On the contrary, he did not really suspect too much of his own best friend, Joseph Joey Punchatore, and therefore he would be the perfect candidate to betray his own best friend due to the threats of the Scarf regime. Now we will take you to what the candy store of what it looks like today. In 1984, this candy store was called Something Sweet. This was the perfect hangout and social environment for the Young Executioners. Joey Punchatore had lured his best friend Salvatore Testa to this candy store. Punchatore had told Testa that he had a gambling and debt issue to resolve with the Grande brothers. Inside the store was Joseph Joey Grande and Salvatore Wayne Grande. Salvatore Wayne Grande was also the same man who tried to whack Harry the Hunchback Riccabini. He knew he let Scarfo down, and this time he knew he had to reassure him that he can get the job done. At this moment, Salvatore Testa still grew leery about his surroundings. He first shakes the hand of Salvatore Wayne Grande and then pats him down just for his own reassurance. But unbeknownst to him, Salvatore Wayne Grande has a gun hidden underneath a sofa. As Testa turned his back against Salvatore Wayne Grande, he then proceeds to shake hands with Joey Grande, and then that's when Salvatore Wayne Grande lets him have it. He then pulls the trigger and shoots the back of Salvatore Testa in the back of the head. Punchatore, the Grande brothers both witness Testa falling down on his knees, being mortally wounded. And just for his own reassurance, Salvatore Wayne Grande pumps another bullet in the back of Testa's head, reassuring that the execution was solidified. The young Captain Soldier was now gone. He would slowly pass away in a matter of minutes. As you can see from the back of this candy store, we will show you in the footage, this is where Nick the Crow Caramandi, Charles White, or Charles Ianich had helped get the body out of the store. We will also let you hear from Nick the Crow Caramandi about how the execution takes place. As you will hear from this video, we will let you hear from his perspective as we show you the video proceeding.
For the murder. On the pretext of straightening out a gambling debt, Punchatore took Salvie Testa to a meeting at this candy store on South Philly's Passyunk Avenue. Waiting inside was Salvatore Wayne Grande, the same hitman who tried and failed to Harry the Hunchback Riccabini in a phone booth.
It's an empty store. Salvie walks in, Wayne's got the gun hidden here, gives him the shake, pats him down, and Salvie turns around for a minute to face Joe Punch. He shoots him in the head.
Salvie Testa never saw it coming. He was dead in a matter of minutes.
He laid there for 7 hours. Later that night, me, Charlie, and another fella go get the body. We wrap him. It's full of blood in this store.
Removing the body was tricky. Salvie Testa was a big man, 6 feet 2 inches tall, and weighed more than 200 pounds.
It was pretty heavy. So what I did, I got a kid. I gave him the signal to put the car in the middle of the street and open up the hood so no cars could get down while we take the body out, so in case a cop is passing by, you know. And threw him in the truck of the car and drove him to Jersey and just threw him on the side of the road.
Another successful hit for Scarfo's assassins. But Testa's murder was also the beginning of the end for Nicky Scarfo. By killing one of the most admired wise guys in the Philly mob, Scarfo had finally gone too far.
That sent a signal, too, to the organization and to the guys who had been around for a long time. If Scarfo can kill Salvie Testa, he can kill anybody.
Even veteran hitman Nicky the Crow Caramondi, who had helped eliminate Salvie Testa, was haunted by Testa's death.
It killed me. I used to get nightmares. I used to wake up screaming. I loved the guy. There was just a fondness that I grew about him, and he used to love me.
Nicky Scarfo, along with many members of his entourage, would serve many years in prison. Scarfo would later die in prison after serving his life sentence. Some of his members are still alive after being released after so many years of incarceration. But those who are unfortunate, like Salvatore Testa, did not get a chance to leave to see the next day on September 14, 1984. He is still beloved to many people in the city of Philadelphia, and in the world of organized crime, he is still one of the most beloved figures, and he's been dubbed as the Crown Prince of the Philadelphia mob. This is the tragic story of Salvatore Testa. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinite Lee Productions. We love ya.